Hi, I'm Carrie. I cosplay crochet and enjoy history bounding. And I had a friend who asked me for a crochet pattern for fingerless gloves. Now, she is just learning how to crochet, so I figured a simple pattern would probably be best. And this is me. So of course I'm going to recommend granny squares. So today we are going to make granny square fingerless gloves. I have a 5mm crochet hook. The yarn that I'm going to be using is this Lion brand Scarfy Light. It's very floofy. It is a very gentle variegated, not too fluffy and fuzzy, but the colors were amazing. So I think these would make some very cute fingerless gloves in the cottagecore vibe. I already have a video on how I crochet my granny squares, so check that out if you do not already know how to make a granny square. So the first part for making these gloves is pretty simple. You need to make 4 granny squares that are about the size of your hand, or like the palm of your hand. That is, how much stretch do we have? Oh yeah, that'll be fine. So this yarn, my 5mm hook, 3 rounds will do. 1 down, 3 more to go. My 4 granny squares are crocheted. The next thing that I am going to do with these is sew in, like cinch, and then sew in the center tail. I am going to leave the end tail because I'm going to use that to help sew these together. If you need a video on how to sew in your ends, check out that video. I'll be back. And my lovely squares are now cinched in at the center. I now need to decide which 2 I want to pair up with which 2. Okay, I have a plan, I think, I hope. How about one busier one and one tamer one? I should have made longer tails. I know there was one of them that I snipped it and was like, oh, that's way too short. Appropriately sized darning needle. Because the first thing that I'm going to do is stitch these together, like do one solid seam. Right now I'm kind of in the middle of the granny square. Run the needle back along the square. That way I am at the corners of just stitching them together. Match stitch for stitch. Okay, I usually do 2 in the very corner just to get things anchored. I can hear the baby making noise. Well, I mean, she's a toddler now, but I need to go check on her. I think I was too loud earlier. She's back asleep. I apparently need to speak quieter because, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm the one that woke her up. Sorry, little miss. I have made it all the way across my square. I'm going to secure my end. By secure my end, I mean weave it in. Sew it in, whatever term you like. Now I need to do the same for the other set. All right, we are stitched together. I often just kind of smooth down my seams so that they're not like super bumpy, ridgy. These are maybe a little small for me. I think another round would have been too much, and they will stretch, I know this. So I am only going to tack this at the corners. So this side is where the thumb will be. Take my little end, get over to the corner, and again, for me, I am only doing the corner. Depending upon the size of your granny square, you might have to go down a little ways. And I'm doing a few. This is going to be a stress point on this, and I want it to hold. Same thing when I'm sewing in the ends here. I'm going to do it a few times. So this is what I have at the moment. So again, depending upon the shape and size of your hand, and the shape and size of your granny squares will depend upon how much you need to stitch along this side. So again, I just need to do tack in the corner. Time to try them on. Technically speaking, they are now fingerless gloves. Okay, kind of more 80s vibe kind of thing going on, but it's easy to make these longer. So looking at these, I think I'm going to add to both the top and the bottom. Sometimes I think the ones that I did for my kind of fall crocheted outfit, those fingerless gloves, I think all I did was add the scallops to them. But these, I think I do want them to go up a little bit. If your granny square is bigger, you can also stitch the fingers together if you want to get like the full fingers in there. So I'm making a slip knot. I think I'm actually going to start one of the chain spaces instead of in a corner. And just like the granny square pattern, I am going to do a cluster in the chain spaces. Except when I get to the seam. I don't want a corner here. That's going to be a little strange. So for this cluster, I did a normal double crochet. This middle one is actually crocheting two together. That's why it kind of bridges the gap of the two squares, and then one more double crochet in the next space square. Same thing. In the first hole, doing a double crochet. Now to do the two together, I go into that first square, pick up from behind. So I have 3 loops on my hook. Now I go into the second space, granny square, pick up from behind. So now I have 4 loops on there. Pick up, pull through 3, pick up, pull through 2. And then one more double crochet to finish my cluster. Doing fingerless gloves, I really do recommend trying them on often. Often. Because you never know how, as you put them on and stretch things, how it's going to look. I think I want another row. Okay, I think I am at the stage where I want to add the scallops now. And I have 3 kind of main scallops that I do. Either I will do 6 double crochets, and that's just it. Anchor with a single crochet or a slip stitch, depending. And that's how I do that scallop. Or I will do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the same spot. Then anchor into the next space. Or recently, well, I think it was after Valentine's Day when I was doing the lace hearts, and I did little tiny scallops with just chains. And that was chain 3, slip stitch, chain 3, slip stitch. I think I'm going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. It's a granny square pattern. Let's keep the granny square motif idea. First thing I need to figure out, is my pattern going to work? So where I currently am, that is a no. I am not doing a scallop there. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, it works. If you're doing a granny square blanket and you want to do scallops on the edge, you do need to figure that out. Put my yarn over and go into the next space, do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets into the same space. It's kind of like doing a corner, but we're not actually cornering to anchor it, I do a single crochet in the next space. Next one is going to be a scallop. There's only 3 scallops. I like that it's laying flat though. It's not super lacy. I think this is a good time to stop for tonight. I will carry on with this. Going further down is the same thing what I did up here. You can't go tighter because it has to fit around the widest part of your hand, no matter what. So I mean, you are basically creating a tube. I'll get these finished up and then I will show you what they look like tomorrow when it's sunny out, and it might look nicer. And I'm back. Good afternoon. The gloves are finished and the sun is shining. Let me show you how these look, like actually on me. I chose to stop basically right at my watch. I figured that was a good place to stop. They're simple, they're basic, but they're very cute. They are kind of perfect for spring. Like, the colors are definitely very spring. They are wonderful in the way that they're not too hot, but they do give you a little bit of extra warmth, and they're fun. They're beautiful. What's not to love about fingerless gloves? They make me feel fancy. Again, granny square, 3 rows of granny square kind of clusters, and then the scallops. At the bottom, I did no scallops, but 3 rows as well. That's just how it worked out for me. If you don't want to do granny squares, you could just do a rectangle, stitch up where you need to stitch up. I have done that before. And basically you can do any lace pattern or very plain as you want. Crochet is stretchy, it's forgiving. Same thing at the top, you can do. Do you not like the lace that I put at the top? Is it okay? I thought you had opinions. Not yet. Again, at the top or bottom. You're shaking the table. Mommy's camera's moving. It's like an earthquake. Again, at the top or bottom, you can put any. At the top and bottom, you can put any lace pattern that you like on there. They're very customizable. You just make them the width and length that you want. I think I've said everything that I need to say. I mean, if you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to see other fun things that I do with granny squares, because there will be more. It's me. Talking about granny squares, if you want to see the things that I've already made for this channel using granny squares, check out this playlist. And the YouTube algorithm thinks you'd like this video. Until next time, have fun, be creative, and take care.